A new era has dawned at Old Trafford. After months of negotiations, drama, and speculation, Manchester United has officially been sold to Qatari billionaire Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani in a record-breaking $10 billion deal, making it the largest club acquisition in football history. The announcement has sent shockwaves throughout the sporting world and sparked massive celebrations among the United faithful, who had long called for an end to the Glazer family's controversial reign, the end of the Glazers' era. The Glazer family's 19-year ownership was riddled with fan protests, debt concerns, and accusations of prioritizing profits over performance. Although they oversaw some silverware successes, including multiple Premier League titles and a Champions League triumph, the overall sentiment had turned increasingly sour. With Sheikh Jassim's arrival, fans are hopeful for a complete cultural and competitive rebirth. Sheikh Jassim's vision for Manchester United. In his first statement as the new owner, Sheikh Jassim outlined his bold ambitions for the club. United is expected to spend heavily in upcoming transfer windows, with reports already linking the club to some of the biggest stars in world football. Plans are in motion to renovate or even rebuild parts of the iconic stadium to create a world-class footballing theater. Investment in modernizing the Carrington training ground and enhancing youth development pipelines is also a priority. Sheikh Jassim emphasized transparency, financial stability, and a renewed commitment to putting fans first, something many believe was lost under the Glazers. With financial firepower behind them and a vision that puts football success at its core, Manchester United could be poised to reclaim their place at the pinnacle of world football. Competing consistently for the Premier League, Champions League, and global honors now looks more achievable than ever. Moreover, off the pitch, United's brand and influence are expected to grow exponentially, setting new standards commercially and socially. However, Sheikh Jassim will not have it all his own way. The modern game is fiercely competitive, and returning Manchester United to their former glories will require smart management, patience, and continued excellence both on and off the field. For the fans, for the players, for the legends who built the foundation, this moment marks hope restored. Manchester United's motto, "Glory, Glory, Man United," rings louder than ever. A new chapter has begun and the world is watching.
The Manchester United takeover story has taken a dramatic twist as Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani has reportedly returned with a jaw-dropping £11 billion bid to buy the club from the Glazer family. After withdrawing from negotiations last year, the Qatari billionaire is back with a record-breaking offer that could transform the future of Manchester United forever. Sheikh Jassim, who had been a front-runner in the initial Manchester United sale talks, abruptly pulled out last year after failing to agree on a valuation with the Glazers. His previous bid, reportedly around £5 billion, was deemed insufficient by the American owners, who opted to sell only a minority stake rather than a full takeover. This led to Sir Jim Ratcliffe's Ineos Group purchasing a 25% stake in the club instead. However, Sheikh Jassim's re-entry into the picture with a staggering £11 billion offer is set to shake up the situation. This bid would be the biggest takeover in football history and, if accepted, would see full ownership of Manchester United transferred to the Qatari Group. If the Glazers decide to accept Sheikh Jassim's offer, it would mark a historic turning point for the club, potentially bringing full ownership and an end to the Glazers era. United fans have long protested against the Glazers' ownership due to financial mismanagement, debt accumulation, and lack of investment in key areas such as Old Trafford's infrastructure and the club's training facilities. A Sheikh Jassim takeover would mean a complete removal of the Glazers, unlike Ratcliffe's minority stake, which still leaves them involved in decision-making. Sheikh Jassim has previously promised a debt-free takeover, meaning all existing loans and obligations placed on the club under the Glazers would be wiped out. Under the Glazers, Manchester United have been inconsistent in the transfer market, often overpaying for players and failing to execute long-term plans. Sheikh Jassim's approach would likely focus on securing world-class talent while also making smart investments, similar to Manchester City's model under Sheikh Mansour. Despite the record-breaking offer, it remains unclear whether the Glazers will be willing to sell. Their initial reluctance to sell the club entirely and their acceptance of Sir Jim Ratcliffe's minority deal indicate they still see value in retaining some control over United. However, £11 billion is an unprecedented sum, and the pressure from fans, combined with the club's underwhelming performances and financial struggles, may push them to reconsider. If they refuse, the backlash from supporters could be intense, with fans already vocal about their discontent over the ownership situation. The coming weeks could be crucial in determining the future of Manchester United. If Sheikh Jassim's offer is accepted, United fans may finally see the change they've been demanding for years. However, if the Glazers reject the bid, it could lead to further fan protests and calls for a full sale. For now, all eyes are on Old Trafford as the takeover drama intensifies. Will Manchester United finally be freed from the Glazers, or will this be another false dawn for the club's long-suffering supporters? The answer could shape the club's destiny for years to come.